Hello, and welcome to our video about taking the GOLD orientation. GOLD stands for General Online Learning Directions. More plainly put, that means it's basic directions on how to succeed when using online resources for courses. This applies to courses that are fully online, only use limited online resources in Blackboard, or are hybrids of face-to-face and online education. When interacting in an online class, you are expected to know how to use Blackboard, have basic understanding on using technology, access important university resources, and know how to succeed in your educational goals. This orientation's purpose is to help students get the basics out of the way before they take their first class, so they can focus on learning the course rather than learning how to take it. It's incredibly frustrating to try to succeed in a course when you aren't familiar with how to even begin. Hopefully, this orientation will build your confidence in taking online courses and help you be more successful in completing coursework rather than struggling to navigate a course. We'll first start by talking about the basic navigation of GOLD. GOLD's traditional track is divided up into 5 objective folders. Each objective folder tells you what topics to expect covered so you can find what you need quickly if you need to review something. You'll access those folders and the content inside of them generally by clicking on the title. Pay attention to the instructions on the content, and you should understand what to do next. Generally, you will be clicking Mark Reviewed buttons, or making submissions to Blackboard assessments. Please note that you can go forward and back as needed by either clicking around yourself or just pushing the back button on your browser. Objectives 1 through 4 cover learning concepts on how to be a successful online student. All of these topics are available to you as soon as you enter the traditional track. You will read the information and click on buttons that say Mark Reviewed when you understand the topic, which will then make that count towards the GOLD badge requirement. Understand that clicking Mark Reviewed is like signing a contract and holds you accountable for that information when taking your online courses. Your instructors expect you to know this information, so make sure you have a good understanding on it before clicking Mark Reviewed. Also, keep in mind that there is a 25-question test over the entire orientation at the end of Objective 5, so make sure you know the information well before you get to that point so you don't have to keep taking that test over and over. Objective 5 is where you actually practice the concepts you learned in Objectives 1 through 4, so you will actually need to submit content via Blackboard's assessment tools. All the sub-objectives in this folder release one at a time, and you won't have access to them until you have clicked Mark Reviewed on everything in Objectives 1 through 4. Everything in Objective 5 comes with instructions, but feel free to look back at Objective 1 if you aren't sure how to do something in Blackboard. All items in Objective 5 are meant to be practice, so they don't have to be 100% perfect. However, you do still need to follow the task well enough to complete the GOLD badge requirements. Read the instructions and you should be fine. Most things should allow you to submit multiple times, so if you mess up or want to be more familiar with different aspects of the tool, just submit again. Also keep in mind that Objective 5 may have you click out of the main orientation quite a bit, but you can get back to the objectives just by clicking back into the folder you were working on. If you want to review your progress through the orientation, check out the Your Badge area and see what requirements you have left. More information about this can be found in Start Here. Now we'll move on to talking about utilizing resources and formatting in the orientation. We have set up a universal layout for this orientation to help you better navigate and understand it. You may want to consider using these tools in helping you learn or as a resource for the future. Every sub-objective comes with an audio player connected to it to help you read along with or listen to instructional text. If you struggle with playing the audio from Blackboard itself, there will be a link provided to open it in another tab. You'll also find links to supplemental visual materials, which may be PDFs, images, or videos. None of those supplemental materials are required to know in order to complete the orientation, but they may be helpful resources if you want further information on those topics. Feel free to ignore them if you are confident in a topic or only want to focus on getting through the orientation. Please note that all of these resources may be updated over time, so contact CIDT if you think a topic should be included or adjusted, and we'll try to accommodate your request. You may also want to check back periodically in case there are any updates that may help you while working in your actual courses. Throughout the instructional text in each objective, you will find links to SOSU-specific resources, such as helpful web pages or download links for relevant software. It is a good idea to bookmark these to refer back to later as you need them. If it is linked in the main body of the text of the orientation, it is encouraged that you click it so that you get full information on the topics. But technically clicking the links is not always required. Keep in mind that there are a couple things that you will need to click, namely the link for downloading Respondus and the link for reviewing the library orientation module. Going through the orientation, you may notice different formatting styles that will help you navigate better. Text that is in bold or italicized is meant to help you quickly find important topics. Those are the things you will most likely find on the final test of the orientation. Text that is blue is meant to indicate something is meant to be clicked. If it is underlined, it means that you are clicking that specific text. If it is not underlined, then it means that it's indicating you need to click something else in that subobjective, usually the mark reviewed buttons or an extra resource. Text that is colored gold is there to reference another section of the orientation that you may want to refer to as well for more context on a topic. Many items in the orientation can relate back to another topic, so this is a way to help you know other places you may want to look for information. Finally, here are some last important things to keep in mind while taking gold. This orientation is free and doesn't affect your GPA, so try not to stress yourselves out. There's no need to spend hours on one item at a time or try to do everything all in one go. Pace yourself and try to be realistic about what you can do in a given time. If you need to review something more, you are fine to go back and spend more time on it. If you are already confident in something, it's fine to move on. If you want to keep your Objective 5 submission simple, that's also fine. Just read the instructions on what is required and practice these skills so you are prepared for your actual online courses. If you don't practice well, then you are only hurting yourselves when taking your actual courses. Also keep in mind that your real online courses may not provide as many resources as this orientation. You are unlikely to find pre-recorded audio of each section of learning, so you may want to look into using screen reading technology or another form of accommodation if you struggle to read without audio. You are also unlikely to find large text, as Blackboard defaults to 12-point font, so you may need to zoom in yourself if you are having trouble reading text in the course. You also may not find as many links to visual resources or non-required learning materials, so you may need to get in direct contact with your instructor or tutors if there is something you are struggling with. You are welcome to request accommodations as needed, so just make sure that you contact the ADA department and your instructors so you get what you need to be successful in the course. If you don't have a disability, keep in mind that not all accommodations may be possible to provide for you. Most importantly of all, remember that you are expected to have turned in your badge before day 1 of the course, so you want to finish this orientation preferably a week before the course officially starts. That should give you time to review the syllabus, turn in proof that you completed the orientation, and obtain any course materials you may not have gotten yet. Your online courses are fast-paced and will not wait for you because you procrastinated taking the orientation. If you have any questions about this orientation or issues while taking it, contact CIDT at sc.edu. Thank you and good luck with your orientation.